Was the oddest salad, but it was the best thing. It was like roasted vegetables and a marinated steak and slimes.
Weird stuff. Mid-month meeting of the Town of Nags Head Board of Commissioners, please come to order. First item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda.
Move to adopt as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So ordered. Next is a time for audience response. Is there anyone would like to come speak to the board tonight about any item that's not on the current agenda? If so, I'd ask you to hold your comments to 5 minutes if you could, please. Yes. How you doing tonight?
Good. How you guys
Good.
Hey, it was a beautiful day today, I'll tell you. Being on the beach and enjoying that. My name is Larry Allen, and my wife is with me tonight. Her name is Ann, and we've definitely enjoyed it. We're going to be here for a couple more weeks, and I promise you I won't fly in for each of the meetings throughout the year, okay? So, you know, you've only got to contend with me one more meeting, and I'll be out of here. But I thoroughly have enjoyed it, and
We know you'll be watching us online, so we'll
oh,
stay
I
straight.
will definitely be watching you online. I just have some things I need to kind of run by you. First of all, the bulk trash. If you have driven down from Salmononi's down to the end of to the south, down to the end, it is clear, and I applaud Ralph's crew for doing that. The only thing that's left there is the repairing of the sidewalks, and that looks really, really great. So I applaud you guys for doing that and cleaning that area up. I did call North Carolina Department of Transportation, and I talked to somebody who I'm not sure exactly who he was, but said he was a director or something. I said, what about the canal? I said, can we get the canal on the schedule? I said, the renters are coming. I said, you know, I know you're in negotiations with the town of Nags Head, as far as I knew. He said, it's on the schedule and we'll get to it. So that is something that's going to be taken care of, and they're going to clean up all the trash, supposedly, that's in the canal, and all of those things. A couple things about the condemned houses, and I want to, there was a couple outhouses that were in the roadway. Those have been removed and put back on the owner's property, not in the roadway. There was a number of beams and stuff that were also there that got removed and put back behind the dune there in two places. And so I do appreciate, Cliff, I know that you were involved in that, and I appreciate you doing that, because there was no way that an ambulance or a fire truck or anything could get up that road at all. A little bit more on the condemned houses. I know that we are under state regulations, going through the courts and all that stuff, and I know that we are under some stipulations. And I think, and I'm not sure, and I'm sure the attorney would let me know, but I think some of the facts that were given to the builder through the court system were facts that were not what they are today. Okay? And what they are today is not good. My wife and I walk that beach daily. You cannot walk in front of the houses. You have to be able to go underneath the houses or behind the houses. So whether the information was given to the courts 6 months ago, that has all changed, because the water is under the houses. It's all the way back to the back pylon. So that's a concern. You cannot take your child under there. You cannot walk a dog under there. it's going to be swept out into the ocean. One of my biggest concerns right now is the movement of people from point A in front of my house to point B. How's that going to happen? There's going to be major construction. Who knows when they're going to start? I don't know if there's a date or time when they're going to start. I don't understand that. They may not start for another 6 months. I don't know. But it seems to me that our hands are tied as far as homeowners and the town as far as when he wants to start building. He has the permits. I guess he can wait as long as he wants. The movement of people from point A to point B is a concern. Do they go behind the houses? Do they take their little kids in front of the houses? Should the beach be closed from point A to point B? I'm not sure. Should it be cordoned off? Should there be a work site area that should be cordoned off? And I was made aware of the fact that they can build Monday through Sunday from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Does that mean they're going to bring in lights? We're already concerned about the turtles. From 7 to 10 in the height of the winter season. Is that fair to us, the people on the beach? They're going to be working from 7 to 10? I'm not sure, but that's what I was told. Who's going to be in charge of the site? Who's going to let those people go from point A to point B? Who can I talk to? That's a concern of mine. Who's going to be in charge of that? Is there somebody from the town of Nags Head? Who's going to be there? How are people going to maneuver their way around the equipment? I know we have all these mandates from the courts. I understand that. But we still have some authority, I'm sure. How can one house have electricity if he's going to start and all the other 6 don't have electricity? He's not going to be able to start anything until we get electricity in there. There's none. I have spoken to the EPA. I've spoken to the Department of Health. I've spoken to Mr. Williams, Mr. Jennings. I'm sure those names are familiar to you if you were involved in all these court things. I talked to Mr. Williams, who is an environmental specialist, concerned about what's in those houses. And I'm concerned about that. Here's what happened. Somebody unlocked the house in front of my house, left the door unlocked or kicked it down. I called the police. The police came. They went inside the house, looked at it. It's horrific in there. There's been birds in there for the last 5 years. What is going to happen with the material that comes out of those houses? Is it going to go on the beach? Is their kids going to be walking through that? What's going to happen with the materials? Because they're going to have to strip that down to the bare wall. It's in the ceiling. Is there black mold in there? The officer came out and said it looks awful. Is there fungus in there? Is there asbestos in there? Have they had a permit? Has somebody came and looked at all those 6 houses? I don't know. I'm sure the attorney knows. But that's a concern. What are they going to do with that stuff? When it comes out, is it going to go on the beach? How are we going to transport it to Dare County dump? How's all that going to happen? That's a major concern for me. My feeling would be that it should be cordoned off, that nobody should be able to go through that area. It should be a situation where people have to either turn around and go the other way or whatever. Even the lifeguard, when they're riding their 4-wheelers, they turn around in front of my house, go back, go down Old Seagull Road, down across Brody Isle, and up the other way. They don't even go by that because they can't get through in front of the house. I'm going to just sum up the thing with I think there needs to be somebody down there from the town of Nags Head. I don't know when they're gonna start. I don't know when they're gonna finish. They have Monday through Sunday from 7 to 10, if I'm not mistaken, to work there. Are they gonna bring lights in? Are there gonna be, what type of equipment's gonna be brought in and out? What type of stuff is gonna be used to rebuild those things? What's gonna happen with the stuff brought out? I think it's important because we have a number of visitors down there, a number of people who are involved in the beach activity. How is that gonna be controlled?
Mr. Allen, thank you for bringing your concerns to us. I think
I can't be out, am I out of time?
you're 10
Ho-
minutes. Your
Holy
double time.
smokes. Hey,
The concerns that you're bringing will be, that you've listed will all be handled by our building inspections department. There are town ordinances that will take care of all these concerns that you've brought up.
okay, I just wanna make sure that somebody has, I'm sure they permitted out and went inside those buildings, I don't know. They've been there 6 years, so, and there's birds and everything in there. Hey, thank you so much.
thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak to the board tonight? If not, I'll declare audience response closed. David Ryan will talk to us about the water construction contract for the Pond Island water line.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board of Commissioners. At the May 7th, 2014 Board of Commissioners meeting, the board approved a special assessment resolution for improvements to the Pond Island Marina subdivision to extend the town's water distribution network to bring the utility up to the town standards. This current request is for authorization to proceed with the execution of a construction contract with Bass Knight Construction Company in the amount of $13,822.50 to extend the town's water distribution network to service the residents along West Shore Road. Earlier this year, the project engineer design documents were forwarded to 4 utility contractors requesting proposals for the installation of the proposed infrastructure improvements. The invitation to bid outlined a potential phased approach, with item number 1 consisting of a 6-inch main installation, and number 2 encompassing the remaining length via a 2-inch diameter construction main. At the March BOC meeting, the board approved the project to proceed based upon the permitted full length. This proposal amount was revised on May 8th to account for a project price reduction, with the town supplying the fire hydrant assembly, reducing the overall cost to the project by $2,850. Attached, you will find the proposed construction contract with Bass Knight Construction, construction plan documents, a bid summary sheet, and submitted contractors' proposals. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have regarding this item.
So David, you're prepared to award the contract for the $13,800 and some dollars, and that's what the action that you need tonight?
That is correct.
Are there any questions for David?
So I gather the other 2 firms didn't react to the change in specs? I don't see where they changed their bid from February.
No, sir. The Bass Knight Construction was low bid at that time. And basically, while we've been going through the process, and based upon a comment that the mayor made at the May board meeting, we looked at the opportunity to provide that fire hydrant assembly. So
Yeah, okay. It's just the other 2 didn't seem to adjust. That's fine.
Any other questions for David? Do I have a motion that we award the contract as presented in your packet?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of awarding the contract for the Pond Island waterline improvement as presented in the packet, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. There being none. Thank you, David.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kevin, Want to amend an ordinance tonight, huh?
It is. Evening, Mayor, Board. I have a request before you tonight that would actually strengthen one existing ordinance we have, 26.2.1, fireworks and pyrotechnic displays being unlawful. And I know you can recall back in 2013, I brought some language to you after working with Town Attorney Leidy that would prohibit the use of sky lanterns, wish lanterns, magic lanterns, those devices. After further review and after some requests came to the fire department to have permits issued for some of those devices, we found that there was a gap in our ordinance that needed to be closed. Working with Attorney Leidy, we came up with some language that was very conclusive in its prohibition of sky lanterns and wish lanterns. And we're seeking your approval of that language here today. In addition, we took the opportunity to strengthen the ordinance and remove some antiquated terms, one being Director of Public Safety, other being Fire Rescue Division, and replace them with Fire Chief and Fire Department. So there are three things that are before you to consider. And I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Chief Zork? If not, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the ordinance as presented, ordinance revision as presented. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. There being none, so ordered. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, Chief Brinkley's next.
Mayor, Board of Commissioners, good evening. Before you today, requesting an amendment to the town's traffic control map. I have some information that Ms. Roberta display up on the screen. Currently on Seagull Drive, our traffic control map indicates that the north-south portion of Seagull Drive is designated as no parking. Signs by our Public Works Department will be going back up in that area, if not already, to further mark that area. They obviously have been through some changes on Seagull Drive. So you have a current area right now of no parking towaway zone north-south on Seagull Drive. After meeting with the town manager and Public Works Director Burrell, we are recommending that existing no parking area be extended. And again, we're talking about on North Seagull Drive through the curve. And I don't know, Ms. Roberta or somebody can put up the ordinance that we're talking about. Really, it's just extending the no parking zone to include the curve there in the northeast portion of Seagull Drive. And I indicated some addresses of where the no parking, where the new zone would start. If you have the pictures, is that okay? Just so that we're clear on the area, this is facing east on Seagull Drive, and basically in an area on the left-hand side and right-hand side, north and south, no parking zone would be created going around to join the existing no parking zone on Seagull Drive. Again, that's looking on the southern portion of Seagull Drive, the south end of it, going up there towards the north-south portion. And this is just the northern portion of it. Again, starting where the new no parking zone would start, heading east. And again, this is a recommendation of the town, of the Public Works Director, and I feel like this is needed due to the changes occurring on Seagull Drive, and have spoken to the manager about it as well.
Any questions for Chief Brinkley? If not, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt it as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and to adopt as presented, and seconded to adopt as presented. Any discussion? Not all in favor of the motion as presented to extend parking on Seagull Drive, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign, and there being none, so ordered.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Kelly, do we have a report from the planning department tonight? We do not. Okay, thank you. don't believe we have any old business items that were tabled from our previous meeting. Didn't know of any when I searched the records. Any new business tonight? If not, we'll go down to items referred to in presentation from the town attorney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have nothing to present at this time, but I would like to request that the board enter closed session at the appropriate time in order to confer with the town attorney about a matter within the attorney-client privilege in order to preserve that privilege.
Do we have a motion to proceed to closed session at this time?
Would it be appropriate to defer that till the end, since we have so few people here, knock out the business and then go off and do it?
If that's what the board desires, that certainly would be.
I'd like to do that. I don't think there'll be much of a delay till we finish.
Have a consensus on that? Okay.
If that's okay.
I'm going to be here until then anyway, so that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, items referred to in presentations from our town manager.
Just one thing tonight. I was contacted yesterday by a member of the UNC Coastal Studies Institute Board of Directors asking for some support from the town for UNC or Coastal Studies Institute budget. And I'm going to ask that the board consider either a letter from myself or a letter from the mayor in that effort. I think it goes without saying the benefits and the impact that CSI has had on our community and the benefits that they're having on our state and all throughout the coast. The Institute's faced with a budget reduction that may very well put an end to this program. It cuts the ocean energy program by 100%, so it would completely eliminate that program from state funding. The Institute is currently in several years of a long-term monitoring program of the Gulf Stream, assessing its potential for providing base load power for the eastern part of the state. In addition to that, they are also looking at a 20% reduction in their O&M. So it basically takes 2.6 million state funding dollars to 500,000, which would pretty much wipe them out. So I think again, it's they're needing some support. They're needing some support from folks like this town and this board that are benefiting from their partnership. So things are moving mighty fast. This would be something that would have to be done this week. So with the board's permission, I'd ask you to have that letter sent of support. And I've got it would go to the Senator Jackson and Senator Harrington, who are the appropriations chairs, Senator Berger. Senator Cook has already weighed in on his support, but that's really where we need to be sending these.
Any discussion?
One question, nobody on the House side?
Representative Time. Then there could be more, but these were the ones that were key people that need to receive it. There may be more that you know of.
I would ask that the House chair for the budget also be included, because by the time other people see it, once the chairs have decided on the budget, it's...
Well, I think they do. I've been visited there several times, and I've been always amazed every time I go back at the work that they're doing. And I think it's very important for this area and for the state that it be continued. I cannot comprehend this kind of budget cuts. So I would support that we write a letter to the individuals requested, plus the chairman of the House Budget Committee and chair of the House, chair of the Senate, get everybody that we can in it.
I agree. It just seems like it would be part of our, in the state's best interest for long-term energy and energy independence, since that seems to be at the top of the agenda this week. So,
We have a consensus then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get that done.
You would get the letter prepared. I'll.
This is for your signature.
My signature, right.
Yes, sir. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Any agenda items from the Board of Commissioners tonight?
I don't have an agenda item. I'd like to make a brief ARPO report. We got the packets, remember I've been talking about how they changed the cycle on the scoring. We got this past week, the scoring for the projects, and it comes in a spreadsheet that's about long.
I couldn't get it open on my computer.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and it's there. Ms. Wyatt and I are going to get together on a teleconference with Angela, Ms. Welsh, and talk about it. So we're kind of up to speed, and we're going to have to get this thing off and look at what went into the scoring and why. I have some minor questions. If you could put that thing up, Roberta, just to show our 4 projects. Where's our thing here?
There you go.
I don't know how that thing
No,
works.
you had, just press the button.
I pressed the button.
Yep, right there.
Okay, now it's going to the ceiling.
Oh, I gotta hold on to it while I'm doing that? That's beyond me. Okay, we have a 3-part project on 158 going from, down there at, Whalebone up to, Gull, and then Grouse, and then Forbes. And then we have the 1-part project basically from Jeanette's Pier up to Gull on the beach road. And those 4 are in. They've received a score. They're competitive. I'm not sure what that means, but the process is starting. And we will go down there and with a preliminary look, then we go down there on the 18th. We'll be able to make any adjustments and argue for our position and this and that. I think it's critical to note that if funded, all bike and pedestrian projects require 20% local match. So anytime we want a bike or pedestrian project, we got to be prepared for the, and I've talked about this before, about how local money buys state support. So, anyway, also, at the same time, Senate Bill 792 has been submitted by Senator Cook, I believe, and that's to get rid of the ferry tolling. Now, I don't know how that's going to proceed through everything, but it asks to take the tolling off those that were tolled, but to block tolling of the ones that aren't. And if you remember when I talked about one of the decisions the ARPO was going to have to make was to whether or not we tolled the ferries or we paid for the maintenance out of our ARPO highway budget. So the bill is in the legislature as the ARPO was hoping for, and we'll see what happens. So that's that. That was it, I think.
All right, anything else, John?
No.
Renee, do you have anything tonight?
Just a comment to follow up on your report. News Observer had a comment recently. We've talked about how urban areas, we're going to start getting more of the DOT funds.
Piece of the pie.
Well, Wake County got pretty much what they wanted. So obviously,
That's
that is occurring.
the way it's set up, right?
Well, the percentages are all toward density, congestion,
Right.
and, I mean, we stand a better chance than some of the places here in northeast North Carolina, but no, I mean, I'd hate to be in a couple others that have almost no chance, which is why we need to scrub our data carefully to be sure that we're getting credit for the number of employees or the number of customers or the number of businesses, the multimodal transportation. If a car stops at the end of the walking path, we ought to be able to, there ought to be some way to be sure we get those credits in there, and we'll see what happens. So,
Okay. Commissioner Denier, is anything tonight?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Walters?
Do you want any committee reports, or do you want to
If
wait till
you've
the next
got,
meeting?
if you've got one,
Just,
let us have it.
Briefly, the Dowdy Park met May 15th on-site for everyone to visit the site, see what the potential is. We've been looking at maps, but it's different when you're able to walk the site, look in the building. We've talked about a community cleanup day, and we are going to begin focusing on the long list of amenities that we brainstormed with to begin with, what truly are the amenities that will best fit our population for all ages. So we're going to focus a little harder on that at the next meeting. And also, the Dare County Tourist Bureau met on May 15th. The Tourist Bureau voted to fund lifeguards on the National Park Service for 2 days a week for the 2 days that they are not funding. So there will be lifeguards at Coquina and Hatteras 7 days a week this summer, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And we also reviewed the site design again and potential pavilion design for the Windmill Point site or the event site. And we haven't made a final decision on the pavilion design, but I think you'll see some activity out there beginning immediately after the Seafood Festival this fall.
Good.
So our next Tourist Bureau meeting is June 10th in Hatteras, and our next Dowdy Park meeting is June 5th here at Town Hall at 4:30, and we invite you to attend.
Good, thank you. Anything else? The only thing I would have to report from the Colony Ridge Committee is that we've been very active, and we've had a lot of interest in continuing contract with us, and we're working with several vendors right now to see where we might create some interest. Anything else? Any other business? If not, I'll entertain that motion now to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
That's per the section of the state code he just quoted.
Okay, that works.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor of going to closed session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign, there being none. Board's back in open session. I'd like to report that no action was taken in closed session tonight. Is there anything else we need to talk about tonight? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
June.
All in favor,
Till
signify.
June 11th, right?
Until our regular meeting on June 11th, which will be,
Yeah.
Because
the date has
CRC
been
meeting.
changed.
You got a board workshop, budget workshop?
Budget workshop is
Fifth.
June 5th.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.